Hello, welcome to Finsweet Live. Today we are building live in Client First, and we're looking at Client First V2 folders. We've had a lot of really good Client First streams, and last week, the top recommendation for this week was to cover a large project using folders. That we've done a couple of single page builds, we've done a V1 to V2 strategy for conversion. Go and check out those videos. It was last Tuesday and the Tuesday before. And everybody said, hey, I want to see a big project with folders. I want to see a big Client First build. So that's exactly what we are doing today. We're going to look at the official Client First documentation page. And we're going to actually go inside Designer, look at how it's built, look at the folders, look at some of the strategies we're using to organize and help keep a scalable project in Webflow. So all of you are waiting for that, and that is what we will do today. But before we do that, let's say hello to everybody in the audience. Okay, Brand Ocean, first major project secured 300 plus pages. So this video is just in time. Great to hear that. Welcome. This will be a good one for you. Walker, how's it going? I'm looking forward to this one. Great. We have Mike Douglas. Good morning. Quadruple shot of espresso for this one. Good. I only did 3 shots of espresso, so you got one on me. Robert Flower. Eager to watch this one so I can understand what folders are for. I'm only halfway through the new V2 Client First docs. Robert, this will be a great learning experience for you. And also, please go and watch the videos from last week and the week before. Hold on one second. I forgot water. Can you please give me the water? Forgot water, and that is super crucial for these streams. So I have my water, my cup ready to go. Mika Dixon, what's up? Greetings from the Midwest. How you doing? Okay, we have Zach Bujasia. Good morning, Finsweet fam. Good morning, Zach. Dale Jensen. Hello. Welcome back. John Saxton, how you doing? We have Tony Seats. What's up? Been a minute. Josiah, all right, time for some learning. Yes, and I think that is it. John Matthias, hello, and I think it is time for some learning. Great. And okay, this one has to come. Frankie Gonzalez. I got my cup of Joe and ready to watch Joe. Love it. Play on words. That's exactly what we need to get this party started. So before we actually get into the content, 2 quick announcements for upcoming content. This Thursday, we are going to have live on Community Day, Aaron Korenblit. Aaron Korenblit is a titan of no code. Very excited to have him live. He is the founder and creator of Automate All the Things, AATT.io. And we are going to have him live on Community Day to learn a little bit more about the personal side of Aaron. If you know our Thursdays, it's not about building. It's not about learning Webflow. It's about learning about the people who use Webflow. So that's what we'll do with Aaron on Thursday. Later Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern, Finsweet will be part of the Reloom Design League. This is a big one. This is a Reloom initiative. Josh Lowe behind this strong. And we are being represented as one of the teams, Finsweet. So we'll have Sergey, one of our lead designers at Finsweet, on that episode. And please come and cheer for us, 6 p.m. Eastern Thursday. Okay, and I think that is it. Let us now jump into this content. Let's look at what we are going to review today. And let's switch to the screen share. Okay, Client First docs. You may have seen them before. You probably have if you're watching this video. We're going to go inside Designer of this project, and we will see exactly how it is built. So let's go into Designer, and here we are. First, let's do a quick page overview. Let's see what we're working with, and then we'll get into the folders. So the heart and soul of the docs, you guessed it, is the docs. You can see 29 pages in here. So all of these docs pages, they're actually being treated as template pages. They are static pages for the purpose of working inside Webflow, but they are really like templates. And when we go into the folders, we're going to see how much like templates they really are. They use a docs underscore to maintain all of the classes that are built for these docs. We'll show you how we're going to do some interesting translation natively inside Webflow, no third-party tools. We are going to look at the other pages, these sub pages, the archive, resources, settings, submit, bootcamp, certified developers. We'll go into the home page. We'll look at the resources template. And all of this, of course, is organized with folders. So please ask questions while I'm doing this, and we will bring up the most relevant questions. We're not answering questions about non-client first topics or non-folder topics. It's really just what we're covering here. And if it's relevant, it will be brought up. Okay. Let's start with WKD. I'm waiting for this stream. I'm having a hard time using folders. On my end, I don't get more than one subfolder, even when I use multiple underscores to create more. Okay. That kind of sounds like you're saying there's a technical issue or you're not sure about how to structure them. In this stream, we'll show you how to structure them. So let's look and just confirm that here on the homepage, we're using our standard client first here. The nav bar, we've got the global styles, we have the main wrapper, and inside we have all of our sections, the home hero, the goals section, the home folder section, the experience, and testimonials. And you know how it works. Inside, we are using the home hero folder name. Inside goals, we are using the goals folder name, and everything inside of here is using goals. I'll give one more zoom. Too much. We have the experience, and again, we're using the experience folder. Cool. So just want to give you this overview, make sure that it's clear. This is a client first V2 project. We are using folders as intended. Now, what we've all been waiting for, let's go and open up the folders here. In folders, I'll open up the folders here. And we can see first our utility classes. I do have to give one zoom out here. And the utility classes, you can see that there are no specific elements here, no specific sections, no specific pages. These are more CSS properties: align, background, container, display, div, global, heading, hide, icon, main, margin, right? These are all based on CSS properties. So please, this is the first thing you have to be very aware of when you are building with folders. Utility classes, CSS properties. And these are only using dashes, no underscores. If it's in this folder, that means there's no underscore. Now let's look at the custom class folders. So we have the docs folder, and this is really where we're going to start here. This is the most important folder. This is what's making this project really scalable. So you can see we have our docs header, our docs inner, docs language, which we're about to build on, docs nav, docs next, docs page, docs read. So these are some more specific things as part of the docs. These are the 29 hidden pages that you saw. And then we also have some items that are not specific to any of these folders. So this could be things that are maybe used throughout all of these, right? And they're not really specific to language, or they're not specific to the header. So we have the article, the checked icon, the content, the document, language item, list wrapper. We have our own main wrapper, which we'll look at. We're going to jump inside the content, the navigator of the docs page, and look at this. We have our own padding of the docs. And I'll show you this. It's like its own little system. And we're using folders to create really a separated style system specifically for the docs, because they are so different than the home page, than the resources page, than all of the other pages. Okay, so with that overview, now let's go and look into these docs. I'll go to the V1 to V2 guide. Let's open up this page wrapper. Let's look at this structure here. It's a little bit of a different structure because of just the nature of the page, right? Look at this. This is how this page looks. We have a left scroll sidebar, we have a table of contents, and we have the content. Every single docs page has the same elements, the same classes. So in here, we'll see we have our sidebar pages in a symbol. We have the sidebar content in a symbol. All of these are using the underscore here, docs underscore. And if we open these up, you'll see docs underscore. So you can see this is our page subfolder, because this is part of the page menu. We have the sidebar. This is the nav, docs underscore nav, because this is a nav specific to this docs page. And all of these follow this nav. And then we have the docs document, docs header, docs main wrapper. We decided that we wanted a different main wrapper than the standard main wrapper, right? This would normally be what we do here. We decided we want something really specific to the docs, that every single class inside this documentation is going to follow this docs underscore main wrapper. And that way, if we have to make a change to every page, we can go and do that to every single page in the docs, 32 other pages. So this is a real separated system, and it's being managed through folders. The article, this is part of the header, rich text, padding, and we're still using our globals as needed, right? This is our container small, globals as needed. Fun fact, all of the docs pages use a single rich text block. This is one single rich text block, and every single page of the docs is just one rich text block. We did this for scalability. We found in the first V1 docs, there was different elements, and there ended up being so many different elements on a single page. So with one rich text block, it was much more maintainable. And of course, this gets the docs folder. Okay. Padding section, this is hidden. And yeah, this is what this docs page looks like. And if we go to another page, you'll see that it is the same. It's going to be the same system, the same everything. Header wrapper, the rich text wrapper, the sidebar, the pages. We have our own padding here, 4rem, 4rem. And the reason is, again, these are being treated differently than other pages. And when you have a large build, you have to treat certain pages differently, right? If you have a 60 or 80 page website, it's likely that every page is not going to be the same. That you'll have, this is a little subsection. This is the special forum page, or the special blog page, or the special whatever page. And maybe that needs different rules, or it needs to be managed separate from the rest of the site. right? So I'm now managing every single doc's padding, and it's not going to influence the rest of the project, where we then have these normal pages. So we looked at the docs pages. Now I go to resources, and you'll see this is a normal page in a sense that there are no multiple navigations. There is no huge rich text block. There are not 32 other pages that are exactly like this. This is a unique, separate page. And because of that, we put it in the resources folder. And we know inside our folders that resources is also a very important folder here. So I'll zoom out here. Resources author. We have a whole author section inside the template page, resource cards, resources filter, the hero, related, sidebar, submit, video. All of these classes are created for these specific things. And we are organizing these things just like this. And then we have things that are not part of these. So the button alt, the button icon, the item, the links, the sections, these are all more general things. And they really didn't need to be organized further into a separate folder, that they are scattered throughout the rest of these sections, right? So this button may be found in submit and hero sections and author sections. So this is how we have organized these two sections, the docs and the resources. Now, I'm going to take a quick stop, read the comments, and see if anybody has any questions. Now's the time to ask about any questions related to things that I have just talked about. If you're curious about why something is done a certain way, or if there's a better or worse way to do it, ask. Let's bring this up from WKD. I know how to structure. It seems like a technical issue. WKD, I'm going to ask that you send a read-only link to me on Twitter or something, and I'll take a look at that. I've never seen that happen. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we have just a bunch of good comments. Mika Dixon, one rich text. Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, thank you. It actually took a lot of time to figure out the best way to do that, and it works. Okay, let's bring this up from Mark Salmon. Please, can you explain why some classes place the underscore first and others the dash first? Sure. This is just a different name for a folder. So if I want to create a folder that's called team, this is the folder name, team. It's very general. And I can go grid list. This would be a team folder. Now, if I wanted to be more specific about this, maybe it's not just the team and I just want to be a little bit more specific. I just call it team list and I'll say grid, let's say. It's just creating a different folder name. There's no right or wrong to this. It's just being more or less specific. And the next thing that we're going to go into is how we're naming things that they don't really have a specific name and they may be used somewhere else in the project. So the difference of this for me is this is more general. This tells me that there may be a lot of team things, maybe a team apply form or a team culture page. I don't know. And this is really specific to the styles of a list of people in the team. So it's just a different way to name a folder, just like you would name inside your computer, right? You can have a folder called clients or Webflow clients. And it's just being more specific about the content in that folder. Okay. Susan, how did the 2 folders deep get created? Okay, let's go over this. We have team. This is one folder. Let me zoom in here. This is one folder, team. Now I'm going to create another folder, list, underscore. This is now a second folder. Without this underscore, there's only one folder, team. Right when I make a second underscore, I now have a second folder, and whatever is showing before this underscore and the underscore before it creates a nested folder. So I can say this, and this is going to be a team underscore list say this. And I'll even do a team list say this, Susan. So now when we go and open up folders, we will see that we have a folder right on top called a team, and inside, oh, come on. Oops. Okay. Folders, a team, list say this, and inside is Susan. So it's creating that second underscore, and then we're going to take all of the words, the keywords in between those 2 underscores to create the second nested folder. Okay. Yeah. Chakman, Mohammed, Finsweet, it would be awesome if you invest in cropping videos to include the more important content that only could wrap up live vids in a 30-minute vid. Yes, we can do that. We've been hearing this, so yeah, we're starting to do more shorts. This is now a new trend, these shorts. So we're going to be doing shorter content. However, there are a lot of people that do like this longer form content. Okay. Okay, great question from Steven. Steven Hilario. Some sections have home, others don't. I'm guessing the ones with home will only appear on the home page and the others would appear on multiple pages. This is a great comment because it transitions right into the next topic that we're going over. I see a few more questions. We will get to those. But Steven, this is a nice one. So this is totally true. Let's bring up this navigator view. Let's start over. Oh, we are not on the home page. Go to the home page. That is exactly correct. That when I open this up, the home hero, this is only for the home page. No other page is having this treatment, this class, this set of styles applied to it, right? It's totally different. It doesn't even follow our global padding here. This element here. And if I go in further, I could probably find more. It's just for this, not for other pages. So that is correct. We're using the home to tell ourselves this is just for the home page. No other page is going to use this. Now, let's look at goals and experience. These are not for the home page. You will find these throughout the project. So maybe not the background gray. Okay, section goals is only here. But if we go to goals list, one on this page and one on other pages. 6 on this page, 3 on other pages. So that is why we don't have home in here. Goals is something that recurs on other pages, as well as something that we may want to reuse for something else. This is a really general name. It has these goals in here, but this can be duplicated and reused for something else. It's a simple content layout. So yes, using that name of the page is really powerful in really communicating, is this page specific or is this really more general? And we'll probably see it again Not here. This is home only, right? This is definitely the section home folders. This is just for the home. We don't see this anywhere else. But this one, we are going to see somewhere else. The experience list. Okay, this one's on 1 page. This one's on 4 pages. So this one is only on the home page. But you know what? This is so general that we may want to use this somewhere else. So with this kind of naming, I can go to another page and say, hey, I want to put this on this page. It's a great content layout. It'll be really nice in the content here. And there we go. So now this is perfectly set up as a reusable component because I'm not using that home name. This is a great content layout. And there we go. This is all about the experience. So yes, that word up there, it's really important, that page name. Okay. Any questions about that, please ask. Okay, I'm reading this exchange between WKD and Hart and Carly. Interesting. Okay, WKD and Carly, thank you so much for this troubleshooting on stream. We'll definitely look at that. We do need to make an update to folders. We kind of released this. It works. It's a great MVP, but we have a bunch of other features lined up. So features like duplicating. Let's open this up and look at what is about to come. First, to not have to click through all of this and to have your folders view at the end here. I understand that it's not the best that you have to zoom out, zoom in, zoom out, zoom in to see this. So we're going to align the folders right here to the left. You will not have to view these containers. We're going to have a duplicate button. So let's say this goals section, let's open the goals here. Goals. Right? It's simple. This is made to be reused. I can duplicate all of these classes and then rename them to something else. So one can be goals and one can be resources, how to. That's coming. A very important feature to change underscores to dashes. So maybe you're cleaning up an old build and there's something in here that should be an underscore. You can assign the entire folder to go from dash to underscore. So these kinds of updates are coming, and WKD and Carly will definitely look into that as we are doing this. Question from SRT here. When we use our own naming for classes but following client first system, will it affect when we apply Fluid Generator? No. You can use your own naming for classes. That's totally okay. The key with the Fluid Responsive tool is that you're using REMs. If you're not using REM, if you're using other things, it's not going to respond to that. It's a REM-based tool, and we love to build in it. Okay, question. Philip Trott missed the whole first half. Okay. I do recommend that you go back and check out the docs folder organization. I think that was a good one. I think a lot of people like that. Vianney. Vianney, folders are very useful to check the class names. But if I made a mistake in a class name, for example, a wrong letter, when I want to correct it, this is not possible if there is another folder with the right name. Well, it actually is possible. Let's look at this. This is such a great thing about folders that it's going to catch these naming mistakes. So let's look at a naming mistake. We'll see that we have resources in here, right? We have a whole resources set of classes, right? Resources is a big set of styles inside this project. So imagine I accidentally did resources with two C's, resources item testing. So resources item testing, this is incorrectly named, and I'm building and I'm building. And then at the end of the project, I can go in here and look at any of these misnamings. So look at that. We have a misname. So you can see the one item testing in here, and you can see the whole list of all the organization we have. So let's go and rename and just remove that C. Can I give you a zoom? Resources without the double C. I'll check this off. This will be merged into this. So we'll see item testing show up in this folder after we give a save here. This is maybe one of my favorite parts. Of course, the organization while building is important, but this being able to check your whole project and really make sure that everything fits together, even at the end of the project, super valuable. So let's see this work. Resources with the item testing. There we go. So this was a merge of an incorrect name to a correct name. This also works with full folders. So I may break something here, but I'm okay doing that. I will, I'm just going to merge utility into testimonials. I shouldn't be doing this, but I just want to show how I can merge an entire folder inside this testimonials folder. So I can go into utility and I'll name it testimonial. This is now going to merge in here. If there's any duplicate class names, right? If there was a, let's say a list in here, it's going to rename as list 2. But this looks like there's no naming conflicts. So I can go and save this. And now I've just merged the utility classes, the utility folder into this folder. And to be clear, when I say utility folder, I'm talking about the classes included with the utility pages here. So we'll even see password. This is the new testimonial form. This is the testimonial form block, and we'll see inside. Of course, this naming worked just well. Okay, so there we go, merging. Excellent. Yeah, you have to save. Let's bring this up from Vianney. You didn't save. This is a requirement. We are not going to overwrite your folders and change your folder names until you press, yep, I'm ready to do it. Josiah, can't wait for the shortcut to go to folders. So we do have a little shortcut to start with. If you right click, you can go into candies, and it's not working well because of this massive zoom. But here in candies, you'll see open folders. We have a couple of quicker shortcuts for you. Merge combo classes, unbind CMS, open folders, and of course we will open folders. So I can go right into folders, and on the next update, it's going to open folders and open up the exact place where you are supposed to go. So that's a bit of a shortcut, but yes, the next update absolutely needs that. Okay. Stephen Hilaria, with the folders update, will you be able to rename only for a specific page? No, not for a specific page, but you can rename for a specific folder. So if you were to organize your folders by page, that would be possible, but you can't just pick a page and make it happen. It's all based on the folder of the classes. Okay. Eric Mueller, I love this. The folders tool is making it irresponsible to not use client first. Yes. If you care about organization, if you care about the next person going into the project, client first and folders is a sure win. I did not build this project. I authored a lot of these pages. I've been in the project, but I didn't build the project. And really, all I did earlier today was I went into folders, I looked at everything, and I had a pretty good understanding of what's going on here. You click through a couple of these, you can see some folders are fairly small, right? This is just for related content items. Super small for social. Submit, super small, right? These just little micro things. And then you go to things like resources and say, wow, there's a big resources class system in this project. And of course, docs. Let's open this up again. This is the heart and soul of this project. And the idea that we can organize the heart and soul of this project into a visual folder system is so important for us, that we can visually see every class in our project related to certain parts of the docs. This is what keeps it global. This is what keeps it maintainable. This is what prevents us from making 32 different updates on 32 different pages, because everything is classed with the docs. So when we're going to look at this, let's see, right? This is a huge list of everything. So yeah, I think without folders, there would not be this level of organization. There would certainly be misnamings inside the docs pages. There would certainly be things that maybe were from the older project. Fun fact, this was actually the V1 project originally. So if you remember client first V1, this entire project was, we don't even have the link in here. Oh, I know where the link is. We don't want people to find it. Changelog. This project was originally this. This is what it was. And really small build. It had a lot of legacy classes. And using folders, we completely changed the whole thing. We got rid of all the legacy classes. We kept some classes that we wanted for things like resources, for things like other things. And we renamed everything very quickly with folders. So it was a great, great migration tool for us, as we wanted to keep the same project, but really transform it to a completely different look. Okay. So I'll bring this up from Diarmund Sexton. I cannot answer any questions about other icons. There are definitely a few icons floating around here that you may not be familiar with, but this is not something I can talk about. Okay, Caleb, thank you. Super impressive that you were able to build the new client-first site within the same project. Yes, there were some positives, there were some negatives, but ultimately we didn't want any downtime, and we wanted, I guess we didn't want any downtime. We wanted to maintain. Yeah, actually don't, as I'm saying this, I don't know the exact reason for the migration in the same project, but that's what we did. We kept a lot of the CMS, right? We kept the resources. I said this. So yeah, thank you. It was, it would not be possible without folders. If we didn't have folders, it would have taken more time. And I promise you the CSS file would have been much larger, because we would have not have been able to see really clearly the classes that do fit and don't fit inside this system. Okay. WKD, good theory, some hyper secret extension tailor-made for Finsweet. Yes, maybe. Okay. And great. So, does anybody have any more questions here? What can I still cover in this project? Oh, I can cover the languages. This will be an interesting one. We kind of figured out that we have a really nice opportunity to integrate languages into this. So we are going to be releasing a lot of languages soon. We have a great team of translators for each of these languages and more, building out translations for each docs page. And we thought, how do we keep this in the same project? How do we avoid subdomain? And we figured out a nice way to do it in CMS. And this was a leading benefit of using a single rich text block. So if you missed the beginning, every docs page is a single rich text block. All the everything here, single rich text block, and it works really well with CMS, of course. So what we're going to do is we've created a template for each language. Each language is going to be able to create as many pages as they want for each page of the docs. So we have, I think it was 29 pages inside of our docs folder. So a translator could have 29 items in here. They could have 15 items. They could have 10 items. They could have 25 items. And they can just keep adding new ones. Page name, page subtitle, this single content rich text, right? This is how this all works. Title, description, and we're going to be able to maintain it's going to be finsweet.com/client first/DE/the name of the page. So this is going to work really well. I know it is. It's great. And for every language, the only thing we have to do is create a new template page. And we're probably going to go with a static page for each. So each static page will have a CMS list of that specific language, of all the pages that translator has completed. We'll write a little bit of JavaScript to update the pages here. Table of contents just works by default with the attributes table of contents. And yeah, this project is going to turn into a massive scalable project. So that's the importance of making sure before we do that this is solid, right? This docs folder has to be solid before we do any of this content, because soon there's going to be hundreds of pages throughout all the different languages. And it's all going to work from the same folder naming, this docs. Beautiful. Okay. Caleb Rainey, is it safe to assume the rich text is using sweet text for additional styling? It's not. It's not safe to assume that, because that's not what's happening. It's actually all native Webflow styling. We are using a creative use of heading tags, and there's no SEO issues with this. We're using italics. Yeah, we're using pretty much every tool, every option that's available to us inside the rich text toolbar. And I do think we have a couple of custom code snippets. This is the power of global styles. Here in global styles, let me open this up. See what we got in here. 222. Yeah, we have a couple of rich text things, custom code. Yeah, a couple of nice CSS custom snippets here, and this is helping us a lot, of course. So between this and between the native settings available to us, we've really been able to craft the entire docs from the single rich text item. Okay, I hope that answers that question. Vianney, great question. With the folders feature, why continue to use the term component in the tree structure for a better understanding in the navigator? Well, let's actually open up the V1 to V2 guide. There's a nice little definition in here, and we'll talk about it. Okay, in the V1 release, we considered underscore equals component, and there was a lot of issues with that, a lot of conflicts. What's a component? What's not a component? Is everything a component? So now we have better defined this as the underscore is a folder, and a component is something that you can use as a self-identifier for a complete and full element or a complete and full component. So if I was, let's go to the home page. I know we have a few in here. I rename this the component, the experience component. And the reason is this element is copy paste ready. It has a whole bunch of elements inside of here that follow this experience naming and have a complete and full structure. And I can go and copy this anywhere in the project. Right, so let's do, I'll put a nice spacing block. And then I can go and paste this in. And there we go. We have this nice, beautiful component. And really, this is something that you decide the definition of. If I'm in a project, a client first project, I would expect that I can copy a component and paste it somewhere else, and it will be the complete structure that I'm looking for. So it would not be good to call this a component. Now, look what happens if I called that a component. This is a little bit misleading. I mean, it still looks okay, but that's not what this is, right? That's not what this section is. It's supposed to be a whole thing with the title. So this is just, it's a list, it's a grid, it's a row, a column. So component, it's something that you consider to be a full element that could be copied and pasted if desired. Not that it is copy and pasted, but that it could be copy and pasted. I hope this answers the question. If it doesn't, Vianney, please respond back. Thank you. Okay, John Larson, this is the first time I've personally seen an international language site build strategy in Webflow. Really love it. Thanks, John. Appreciate that. I think this strategy works well for some use cases. Overall, it would probably not work if we needed to translate the entire project. So if we had to translate all of these pages, the home page, the resources, everything, it wouldn't work. But the fact that we are translating rich text-based pages that are all the same, right? Remember I said that this is being treated as a template page? It works really well in here. So when we thought about the idea, we got excited, and we'll definitely build this and release a little case study on it. We'll do another stream showing how all of that works together. Penny, what is your process for planning the structure? Do you add the naming as you build, or do you make all the naming decisions beforehand? Well, Penny, I would say a combination of both. I think it's really valuable to do some initial planning, understand some of the bigger parts of the website, but then when you get into the build, of course, you can't think of everything. So a great example is, this is not something I would plan in the beginning of the build, the experience folder, right? It's just one on this page, one on another page. This can be renamed. Like this it's such a general name because it's really not specific to the homepage or any specific section. It's just a general component. However, when we start to get to things like the docs, this required a lot of planning. Before we really got into the content, we had to plan the structure. We had to figure out the structure, and this is something I would plan before the project. How are we going to organize this docs page? Are we going to have one folder level for everything? Will we have two folder levels? In Figma, if this was a Figma project, I would go and probably sketch out what I had in mind. So imagine like highlighting certain sections, right, in Figma, highlighting this, highlighting the header, highlighting the entire body, and saying, this is a subfolder, this is a subfolder, this is a subfolder. Some of that initial planning, I think, is very valuable, and I would recommend it. Same thing for resources, right? We looked at the resources, and this is a very large folder. This is something that should definitely be planned before. The good part is you can plan it, build it, and then change it if you realize it wasn't the right decision. That's one of the beauties of folders, that we can just say, hey, you know what? We're actually not calling this the author anymore. We're calling this the creator. Or this isn't a sidebar anymore. We changed it. It's now a top nav. So I can change this to top nav. But having that initial structure is important. Yeah, and look, let's look at some other things that we have in here. Nav. So we have a nav specific for the docs. We have a nav drop-down item menu, a couple of general things here. Really nice. So you can see there's a lot of navs in this structure, this project. And because of that, we started organizing them. I think there's like 5 or 6 different navigations in this. Between the 2 in the docs, the main one, there's one in resources. So we need some further organization. Calculator. There's a calculator in this project. Great use of folders to just separate something that doesn't relate to the rest of the project. So we have all of our content structure, we have our docs, and then on one of the docs pages, there is a random calculator that helps calculate rems and pixels and do that translation. So we wanted to organize this specifically. It was so different from the rest of the docs that we actually decided to not put it in the docs folder. But actually, we could have just nested this. This was one of the classes that we didn't carry over, or we didn't change from the V1 build. But I could go and do docs. And unfortunately, at this time, we cannot create another nested folder. But when we do release that, what I would do is do this. So I'm not going to do this because it's not supported right now in folders, but this would be a great organization for this. However, this also works totally well. It's organized. I know what it is. It's totally separated. We can see exactly where this is, right? So there's no confusion here. This is sizes and rem. Nice. Okay. Form, footer, fluid responsive. Only 2 classes needed, but this is for the fluid responsive generator. Okay, great. And again, this could also be nested in the docs if we wanted. This was another one that we didn't migrate over. Okay. Penny, I hope that I answered that question and a little bit more. If you have any follow-ups to that, please let me know. Dale, same with you. Okay, so we have 5 minutes left. This was a great stream. Well, I hope it was a great stream. You can tell me that. If you liked this video, please give it a like. Would really appreciate that. If you have a suggestion for next week or the week after for Client First, please recommend that. The reason why we did this stream is because last week people said they wanted to see a big project. And with Client First being released so soon, V2 and folders, this was really the most organized and best project we had following V2. But as we continue to build more and do more inside V2, we'll have more and more of these projects. So what else do you want to see? What else is missing in Client First V2? Should we do another live build? Should we do, I don't know, that will help us figure it out. Okay. Mike Douglas, will external libraries like Reloom be able to support advancements in CF like folders? And if so, would you recommend selecting the CF library instead of Reloom library version for projects? Well, yes. This is a huge benefit to using Reloom. Massive benefit. So I don't have Reloom open. I'm not going to actually copy a full component in. But if I had Reloom and I went and copied a component into this project, so for example, I think Reloom may have something like header 7, right? Something like this. Right? And this is not really, this isn't a specific class, right? This is just header 7, header 14, whatever it may be. So with folders, I'm now able to go and rename that Reloom component all in one shot. So this is now going to be the contact header. And now this entire Reloom component, every custom class that we copied over from that heading 7 is now going to be inside this other folder, which we can look at. Contact header, contact header. So this is a huge time saver for Reloom. We do recommend using Reloom. It's very important to understand how things are built and how to do it yourself. Reloom can help you do that. And yeah, we recommend it. We use it. It's super valuable. And this folders feature makes it even more valuable, in my opinion, because of the speed that you can use to rename those components. Okay. What else do we have here? Penny, thanks. That was helpful. I appreciate that. Carly, this was helpful. Helped me think through some options in my current project and even cleared up some confusion that I didn't know I had. Great, Carly. That's wonderful. Appreciate that. Philip Trott, thank you. Hit the like button. Philip, if you have any questions from the first half of the stream, please don't hesitate to reach out. Who else? Penny, this was a good big project to learn from. We got the structure and more info on client first, double value. Renaming feature is so brilliant. Thank you, Penny. Dale, still reading and working through the V2 docs. Very thorough and informative. Lots of additional things yet to build on top of my basic learning. And that's still to come. Great. Yes, client first V2 docs are very long. It's very clear that they are long, and there's a reason for this. When we released Client First V1, one of the biggest complaints that we had was that not everything was explained, that there were some conflicts because it didn't go into enough detail. There was a lot of detail. It helped you understand, but it just needed more. And that's why we broke it into this style. Each individual page fully explained. Think of this as a book, right? When you're reading a book, a business book, you're not going to get a value from a business book in 20 pages. It's probably a 100 or 200 or 300 page book. And after you read it, you go, wow, that was a lot of information, but now I have the full story. This docs, the goal, even if it's long and lengthy, has a mission to give you the full story. So between these visual walkthroughs, between the written docs, between the clonables, between Reloom, we can all learn how this entire system works. Okay, and then a couple last elements here. Mike Douglas, great. I found Reloom to be very helpful. Totally agree. Great, Mike. WKD, very great stream. Finsweet never disappoints. Thanks, Joe. And thank you, WKD, for bringing that to our attention. We will fix that in the next update. And Vianney, the doc is very long, but extremely well organized and educational. Dale, really appreciate all you're doing at Finsweet, changing the way I work. Thank you so much, Dale. Really appreciate it. Okay, now we are at the hour. That will be the end of the content of this stream. Thank you so much for being here and learning together. Amazing questions. If you were a question asker during this stream, big thumbs up. You really helped with this. Next week, we are going to do, it's either going to be client first or attributes. I don't know. I didn't have any really good suggestions here from the crowd for next week, client first. So we may jump into attributes and do something with filtering and maps. Maybe. We'll see. But we'll definitely let you know. Make sure to follow us on Twitter. That's at Finsweet Live. I'm sharing this. If you want to stay updated on our streams, follow the Finsweet Live Twitter. That's where we're going to tweet every stream that we have. And that's it. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and have a great rest of the week.